The whispers have now escalated into a full-blown feud, and Luka Doncic stunned everyone with a revelation no one expected.
I can't stay silent anymore. For me, the GOAT conversation ended when I saw what type of person.
You might think this is just another GOAT debate, but once you hear what he actually said, it becomes clear this goes way beyond that. It's personal. Before we even get into stats, championships, or legacy talk, there's something most people are overlooking about Luka Doncic right now. Growing up, he didn't idolize Jordan or Kobe. He had LeBron James on his wall. He said it himself in interviews. Since his EuroLeague days, LeBron was the player he admired most as a K-Dot. So when Luka finally made it to LA and ended up sharing a locker room with his childhood hero, it should have been a dream come true. For a brief moment, it even looked like it might be. But whatever went on behind the scenes changed everything. It's the reason Luka can now confidently look a reporter in the eye and call Michael Jordan the greatest of all time without hesitation. And how things reached that point is crazier than anything we've seen on the court this season. In fact, the first warning sign showed up even before the trade. Back in 2025, Nike tried to shift Luka onto LeBron's signature line. They had the full presentation ready, meetings, pitches, the whole deal. But Luka shut it down immediately and chose to stick with Jordan Brand instead.
I wanted to begin Team LeBron and have Luka as my first signing with Nike.
At the time, most people brushed it off as just another business move. But then Luka said something that should have made everyone stop and think. He told reporters, "I wear Jordans because they represent winning. Everything else is just marketing." And he said that while standing just a few feet away from one of the most marketable athletes on the planet. That didn't feel accidental. It felt pointed. He drew a clear line between winning and marketing. And anyone listening could guess exactly who that comment was aimed at. Because here's what Luka was starting to realize in real time: LeBron isn't just a basketball player. He's one of the most carefully managed public figures in sports history. His image has been built and protected for years by a full team dedicated to keeping everything polished. For a long time, it worked flawlessly. But when you're Luka, carrying one of the heaviest workloads in the league and seeing everything up close every day, that image can start to feel different. He came to LA expecting to play alongside his idol, expecting leadership that elevates everyone around it. Instead, what he experienced felt more like a lesson in how power works behind the scenes. Around the league, people have been calling it the LGM era for a reason. LeBron's influence over roster decisions has been unlike anything we've really seen before. And the pattern critics point to is hard to ignore when things go wrong. Bad chemistry, underperformance, the blame tends to land everywhere except on him. What makes Luka's frustration hit harder is the comparison he's now making. Michael Jordan, the player he's openly calling the greatest ever, approached leadership in a completely different way. When Jordan had Scottie Pippen, he didn't just rely on him. He pushed him relentlessly day after day until Pippen became a Hall of Famer. That 1996 Bulls team didn't just happen. It was shaped by Jordan's standard and intensity. That's what leading by example looked like. Luka grew up believing LeBron was that same kind of leader. But after seeing things firsthand, his perspective clearly shifted. And before you even get to the full statement, he eventually made the one that really shook people. You have to understand, this isn't just opinion or hype. Michael Jordan's impact on the game is still unmatched. Even Kevin Durant said earlier this year that no matter who breaks scoring records, nobody will ever surpass Jordan's greatness or influence on basketball.
I get in the stats with MJ, and I don't think he has an equal in any industry. Everybody's talking about Mike every day, all day. MJ is just bigger than the game. I mean, no matter who passes him.
At the time, it mattered even more because LeBron James had already become the NBA's all-time leading scorer. So when Kevin Durant said that no one who passes Michael Jordan in total points will ever match his impact, it felt very deliberate. It wasn't just a general statement. It sounded like it was aimed at one specific player. A lot of fans debate Jordan like his accomplishments aren't clearly documented. But the reality is, his resume speaks for itself. Take LeBron's story, for example. He was labeled the chosen one by Sports Illustrated at just 16 years old, Before he had even played a college game or faced pro-level competition, the hype came early. And to his credit, he delivered on it with an incredible career. But Jordan's path looked very different. Nobody handed him that kind of spotlight. He had to prove himself first at University of North Carolina, and he did it immediately. In the 1982 National Championship game against Georgetown Hoyas, an 18-year-old Jordan hit the game-winning shot as a freshman. From there, he built a dominant college career, winning multiple All-American honors and the John R. Wooden Award in 1984. By the time the Chicago Bulls drafted him 3rd overall, Jordan wasn't a project, he was already proven. And that's where the comparison to Luka Doncic starts to make sense. Luka came into the league the same way, already accomplished. At just 19, he won EuroLeague MVP, dominating against grown professionals and former NBA players. So when he stepped into the NBA, he wasn't learning on the fly, he was ready. That's part of why Luka recognizes greatness in Jordan on a deeper level. He understands what it means to arrive already built for the moment. And when Jordan entered the league, the Bulls weren't anything special. They were a struggling franchise that most people ignored in a city focused on other teams. But in his rookie season, Jordan immediately changed that, boosting them to the playoffs, while averaging over 28 points per game and playing elite defense. From there, the dominance only grew. Jordan didn't just score, he controlled the league. 10 scoring titles, the highest career scoring average in NBA history. And in the playoffs, when the pressure peaks, he actually got better, holding the top postseason scoring average as well. What often gets overlooked is his defense. Jordan wasn't just an offensive force. He was one of the most complete two-way players ever. 9 all-defensive.
When people start comparing him with Jordan, then that's not a fair comparison. Because Jordan is far more superior player. And it's very, very tough.
Coming from someone who went head-to-head with multiple eras and understands the game on a level most people never reach, that kind of statement doesn't come lightly. It's deliberate, measured, and rooted in real experience. But the one that really stands out is Ray Allen. Unlike others, he didn't just compete from a distance, he actually shared the court with LeBron James during some of the biggest moments of his career, including a championship run. He saw everything up close, day in and day out. And when someone with that kind of first-hand perspective speaks on it, people tend to listen a little more closely.
And against him and MJ, I think, for me, it's MJ all day long, only because how I played against him, and MJ just had.
Shaq expressed a similar opinion, explaining that while LeBron is clearly an elite player, he doesn't inspire the same level of fear that Michael Jordan did.
I've heard players say, including myself, I feared Mike. I've heard players in your generation say they feared Kobe. I've never really heard any players say they...
That fear factor was real too. Opposing coaches would design entire defensive game plans just to slow Jordan down, and he would still drop 35 points regardless. Players have even said in interviews that simply making eye contact with him during a game felt like a psychological battle they were already losing. But the one opinion that really stands out comes from Wade, LeBron's closest friend and like a brother to him. Even Wade himself has said that Jordan will always be the GOAT.
I play with LeBron and I play in the NBA, and Jordan's my favorite. I'm asked a lot about this GOAT debate. Michael Jordan is the greatest player I've...
When even LeBron's closest friend isn't willing to call him the greatest, it makes you question how settled this debate really is. But if player opinions still aren't enough, then you have to look at the era Michael Jordan played in before making any final judgment. The NBA in the late 80s and early 90s was a completely different game. There were no freedom of movement rules, no flagrant foul reviews, and no replay committees slowing things down to judge physicality. Driving to the basket meant accepting real consequences, and those consequences were often brutal. No one understood that better than Jordan, especially against the Detroit Pistons. They built an entire defensive system specifically for him, famously known as the Jordan Rules. This wasn't media hype. It was a real strategy designed by Chuck Daly to stop one player. Players like Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn were tasked with physical, punishing defense every time Jordan touched the ball in the paint. jersey grabs, hard fouls, elbows, and body contact were all part of the game and all completely legal at the time. And yet Jordan kept attacking. He faced that for years without asking out or demanding a trade. Instead, he returned every offseason and eventually broke through alongside Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson. That mentality defined him, not avoiding the hardest challenge, but repeatedly going straight through it until he conquered it. That toughness showed up elsewhere too. In the 1988 NBA Finals, Isaiah Thomas played through a severe ankle injury that would have sidelined most players, still scoring.
I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass.
Now look at LeBron James. Over a 23-year career, he has completed a full 82-game season just once. He has also been part of what many now call the strategic rest era, where top players occasionally sit out regular season games, sometimes even nationally televised ones, to manage workload and extend longevity. From a health and longevity standpoint, the reasoning is understandable, but critics argue that you cannot claim the title of greatest of all time while treating large portions of the regular season as optional. In their view, those ideas don't fully align. Statistically, LeBron has missed more games in the last 4 seasons alone than Michael Jordan missed during his entire 13-year run with the Chicago Bulls. That contrast is often pointed out in the debate. As Luka Doncic reportedly put it, one man played to leave a legacy, the other plays to manage a brand. And for many fans, that statement sums up the entire argument.